I am really excited. Emily and I talked this week about our Dungeons and Dragons group. We are gonna start meeting February 7th. That's a Sunday. We're gonna hopefully be able to meet like in this room. We'll also have Zoom available, so anybody wants to do it over Zoom. First time we meet is just gonna be us like making our characters and goofing off. So if we're allowed to, we're gonna have food. So that's an exciting thing. If you guys have not played Dungeons and Dragons, it's literally hanging out and goofing off with a story involved. That's what it is. So I'm super excited for it. We'll have everything you need. You don't have to bring anything else to be there. Everything will be provided. I literally ordered something called a Poundo dice, and I'm really excited for it. It should be in like this week. So I am super stoked. If you guys have any questions, you can text me about it, and I'll fill you in. We're looking at 4 o'clock, but that's not set in stone yet. We figure that's not like going to be dinner time quite yet, but it gives you some time to relax. And you can still totally join online if you don't want to come on campus. So super, super excited for that one. That one's been like in the works for a while. So, and another super exciting thing that we're going to have, instead of streamed worship like we've been doing, we have a duet today. So let's stand up and worship together. We're getting our first live worship of the year.
Oh yeah.
I think it might be the first live worship in a year too.
Yeah.
The song is Piano Man, right?
Good morning, everyone. Okay, so we don't have the music on the screen, so if you want, you can follow along if you know it well enough, or you can pull out your phone.
Yep.
The first song we're doing is Future Past. So I'll give you time. Do you all feel like you know that one? Yeah. I figured as much. Okay.
Cover the mountains, the valleys below.
have chosen me. Love has called my name. I've been born again into a family. Your blood flows through my veins. I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God. I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God. You split the sea so I could walk right through it. My fears were drowned in perfect love. You rescued me so I could stand and sing. I am a child of God. I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God. I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God.
You guys are so good. Thanks. I'm glad that Pastor Jeff is in here because he hasn't seen my hair yet. I like it. Isn't it great? Yeah. Is it okay if I move your book? Okay. As my hands are already all over it. Okay, does everybody now have a piece of paper and a marker? Oh, good. We're not going to need it till the end, but then I know that you have it, you know? And I still haven't fixed my group book. So if I drop the tie, you guys have to watch where it goes, okay? Okay, nobody agreed at first, so I got worried. So, we're going to talk about New Year's resolutions, because obviously, how can we not, right? It's the new year. Everybody makes New Year's resolutions. And there's one thing that my dad did as I was growing up, like since I was 9. And he would make me and both my brothers write down our goals. And it wasn't like, hey, like, what are your goals for this year? No, he had like specific rules, and we couldn't do like anything fun until we got those goals written down, right? So we'd have our monthly goals, and that would be like, you know, how am I going to get better in a small way that I'm going to, you know, go on with every month. Then we had our yearly goals, which is what do I want to accomplish by the end of this year. Then we had our 5 and 10 year goals, which are further out, and usually those ones would change, right? Because when you're 9, you're not really thinking like, you know, I really want to invest in my 401k and thinking about getting like a nice mid-sized sedan with good gas mileage. Like those aren't your dreams when you're 9, right? You can't really think to 19, which is more than double of what you've lived so far. So I honestly, as I was growing up, thought this was super dumb, right? I was young, I was like, this is a stupid waste of my time. I want to be playing with Legos right now because Legos are the bomb. So, you know, I would just speed through it and get something done. You know, you had to go for the defaults like, oh, I'm going to do good in school. Check that one off the list, you know, and I would have the goals set, but I didn't think about what they were going to be, right? When I look at it now, every year I naturally look to the future at New Year's, right? So that's something that was ingrained in me over 20 years because my dad took the time to sit down and ask, hey, what are you going to do with your life? And so now I don't have to try. I don't know if anybody else does. Anybody have pickled herring at midnight on New Year's? No, I'm the only one. That's like a good luck, like you're going to have financial success in the future thing. And it's Everybody hates it except for me. So I always get the leftovers from my parents because they get like a jar. It's literally like herring, like the fish, pickled.
Oh.
That's all it is.
No, thank you.
No, everybody hates it but me. So I get the leftovers and I'll just like snack on pickled herring, which everybody thinks is gross, but I love it. So I'll literally, eat the pickled herring as everybody else is gagging. Then I'm like, okay, what am I gonna do this year, right? So why do you guys think we set goals? You can shout out an answer.
To be better people.
Yeah, to be better, right? Because who is perfect here? Oh, thank God nobody raised their hand. Jesus is the correct answer, yes. But, we aren't, right? There's always something we can be better at. So, the way I look at it is when I set a goal, it's going to be something that's going to make me a better person, but it's usually not something massive, right? It's like a little bit at a time. Because, and let's go back to the Legos here. How do you build something? You don't just, boom, like here's the thing, it's built, like if you've got your Lego Death Star, which I'm sure everybody wants because it's the coolest thing ever, and was heartbreaking in Spider-Man when it broke. You don't just have it set there, right? You go piece by piece. And eventually you have this big, huge masterpiece done that you hope you don't drop at some point in time because you will not have the willpower to put it back together, right? So, does anybody here have any goals right now?
Get away with Death Star.
To get a Lego Death Star is a good one. I saw George's hand, then Kimmy's.
I want to learn to cook this year.
You want to learn to cook?
I want to apply for more scholarships.
Apply for more scholarships? That's a great one. If you guys need help with that too, that's an open invitation. Let me know. I will help you find scholarships. Anybody else? Does anybody have like any massive goals, like for their career that they're like, this is what I want to do when I grow up? Miles, what do you want to do when you grow up? You want to fish?
No, I said this.
Oh, this. Okay, that makes sense. So, when I was 6, the biggest word that I knew was also what I wanted to be because I saw Jurassic Park and I wanted to be a paleontologist, right? I had the dinosaur room. That's all I wanted to do. So what did I do to get that goal? I got dinosaur books and I read them, right? And I would sit for hours learning about all the different dinosaurs, and all of that is just completely lost information, right? When my hair was dyed, I lost all of it. So that was really important for my development though, right? Because a lot of like when I'm up here and I'm talking about something, I didn't just like sit down in the parking lot and like write this stuff down. I'm like, oh yeah, that sounds kind of cool. Like I've spent a while researching what other people say and looking into this stuff. That all started way back when I was 6 and I saw T-Rex and I was like, that is the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. I want to find one, right? That was all the way back there, and you might not connect those two right away, but God set that in my life and said, this is going to help you in the future. It's not going to help you find dinosaurs, because that's a little odd. You're not going to do that. You're going to do something else, but those dinosaurs are going to help you do it, which is honestly the coolest thing God's ever said to me. So when we set goals, what we're doing is we're looking ahead to the future, right? And we're making a future, instead of having the same us there, we're going to have a better us, right? So when you set those goals, you want to keep in mind, this is going to make me a better person, right? Scholarships. That's going to make it better because you're going to have less money to pay back when you're graduated from school, right? Cooking. You're not going to have to go to In-N-Out, which I did twice this weekend, every day to eat, right? You're going to be able to take care of yourself. Those things are going to make you better in the long run. So honestly, that's step one, right? Like, George, I'm going to pick on you for a second. This is not actually directed at your character. But you could say, I'm going to learn how to cook, and then never look up a YouTube video or read a cookbook, right? So it could be December, and you're like, ooh, whoops. I meant to do that, and I never did, right? So you did step one, and then you walked away. So what do you guys think would be step 2?
Like actually going through with it.
Yeah, put action behind it, right? So Can anybody tell me an example of a goal and then what action you'd have to take to achieve it?
Well, another one of my goals was to get a job, so I applied for a couple jobs this weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I had a friend who was trying to apply for jobs, and she would just apply she'd spend one day, 16 hours on the computer doing it. Do you do that, or do you go I'm gonna apply for 3 jobs today?
Yeah, I applied for 2 yesterday.
That's a smarter way to do anything, guys. If you just try to cram everything into one little spot, you're gonna be stressed out and upset, and you're gonna get less done. If you spend 16 hours over 16 days, you're gonna get more work done than if you spent 16 hours in one day, right? That's just a smarter thing to do. So I'm gonna throw some out, and I'm gonna have you guys answer. If nobody raises their hands, then you're gonna be voluntold to answer. So if my goal was to be better at a musical instrument, what would I do?
Practice 15 minutes a day.
Yeah, be better with a musical instrument, so piano or guitar.
My bad.
What about if I was saving up for college or a car or a house? My handwriting was really bad. I thought it said Chase, and I had to take a second to figure that out. If you're trying to save up money, what do you have to do?
Get a piggy bank.
Get a piggy bank?
Or a real bank.
Yeah, you can get a savings account, right? You can invest it. There's a lot of things you can do, but you can't just get the money and stare at it, right? Another thing you can't do is go out and eat all the time, because that's expensive. You have to make some plans to make sure you're not spending all your money. What about if you were going to learn something entirely new?
Like a new language?
Yeah, a new language, or one of the things, I want to learn how to solder. Where you have the little soldering gun. I want to learn how to do that because I have some old game consoles, and the only way to fix them is by soldering some pieces. So what would we have to do? What language do you think you're going to learn?
Spanish.
Spanish, okay. What do we have to do to learn Spanish?
Duolingo.
Duolingo is great. My thing with Duolingo is I just start getting hey, spend 15 minutes. I'm I'll do it tomorrow. And then that one gets really mad at you and really scary. So that's why I turned off notifications for it, because I was getting nightmares. What about if I was going to try to lose weight or get more muscular? What would I have to do there?
Go to the gym.
Go to the gym? Eat healthy? Set up a plan, right? Whenever I see the CrossFit stuff where people confuse your body, I had a friend who was a personal trainer. He's don't do that. You're going to hurt yourself. So you go in, you make a plan, right? You go, okay, I want to get stronger legs because I'm going to do soccer, which I worked out with a soccer player friend of mine, and it was a nightmare because I don't have strong legs, and I wanted to just pass out in the gym. So, set standards, make sure that you're not overdoing it, right? You have to gauge everything. There's a lot of work that goes into it. You can't just show up and work out 16 hours in one day and then be cool, I got a six-pack. It'd be sweet, but you can't do it, right? So, what I want you guys to think as you go into the next couple weeks is, how do you personally put effort into making yourself a better person? Right? And that's a question that might seem really easy off the bat, but when you give it some thought, you'll think of really weird, tiny ways that you take care of yourself and really weird, tiny ways that you don't. Right? So, when you move forward this year, that's the thing I want you to focus on, is how are you taking the time to make yourself better? One of the big things that's overlooked all the time is just getting enough rest, right? So a lot of people think that if you do a bunch of stuff, you're gonna get good at a bunch of stuff, right? If you don't rest, especially at your guys' age, you're gonna burn yourself out. And you guys have had enough burnout for the rest of your lives being on a computer the whole last year. So if you guys need help on what to do to avoid that, let me know. I've got so many books and other stuff that I can go into with you about how to just not overdo it, right? That's a minor way that makes a major difference. So when you are looking at setting the goals for yourself, make it reasonable. So I'll give you an example. If I said I'm gonna be a millionaire next week, that is not a reasonable goal, right? It just doesn't make sense. Unless I win the lottery or Bill Gates comes over and drops his wallet in my driveway, it's not happening, right? But if I say 5 or 10 years from now, I'm gonna have $1 million in the bank, that might not be out of the question. Because I could invest in the right things, and I could watch the stock market, or invest in real estate, or flip a car. My brother's doing that. He bought a car for $800, put $500 into it. He's gonna sell it for $2,500, right? Things like that you can invest into, grow your money, right? So 5 to 10 years down the road, if I'm very stringent with my income and I don't buy a lot of stuff for myself and I invest it, $1 million really is not that much, right? So that could happen, especially if you've got a savings account. I cannot stress, guys, right now, if you have a savings account attached to your parents, you won't pay on it and it'll start to build money and you'll have so much more money than you thought you did when you set it up. Even like my savings account is an interest rate once a month, I get 0.01%, which is like nothing. But it adds up over time, right? So when you focus on the right thing, you can succeed at those astronomical millionaire-sized goals, right? I have a song that I'm trying to learn on piano that is so hard. You probably know this one, Hungarian Rhapsody No. 2. It's a 9-minute song. I have 90 seconds done. And it's taken me years to get to that point. But if I keep working at it, like I haven't for the past 2 years, if I sit down and actually spend time to do it, I'll finish it, right? So your goals can be about things like that, right? I'm gonna learn this one song. But it's better to set goals about who you are. Does anybody know who Craig Groeschel is? He's a pastor, like the head pastor of a huge mega church that has 26 campuses, last time I checked. Massive, massive church. Thousands of people work for him. He loves going out and speaking on leadership and stuff like that, and he has a podcast. And one of the podcasts, he talks about how to set goals in your life. And he says, don't set do goals, set who goals. So don't set goals on what you're going to accomplish. Set goals on who you're gonna be. Because instead of like, for example, setting a song, I'm gonna learn 6 songs on the guitar, right? He says, I'm gonna be a better guitarist this year. So the goal in that sense adapts to you as you grow. So if you said, I'm gonna learn 6 songs on guitar, and you find out you're better at guitar than you thought you were, and you learn 6 songs in February, and you might just go, job well done, I'm out. Look at what I did. Peace out, I'm gonna go have some Doritos and celebrate, right? But if you say, I'm gonna become a better guitarist, then every day you can just say, okay, I have to be better than I was yesterday. I don't care if I hit 1 note better than I did last time. I'm gonna be better. You look at those 2 people with those 2 similar goals in December, I'm gonna be a better guitarist is gonna be leaps and bounds beyond the other person, right? Just because they said it in a different way and they're urging themselves in a different way. You guys are honestly all insanely talented. Like, I don't think you guys realize the stuff that you can do. Like, there's all of this art around here. We have an amazing band. We have people that do all kinds of sports, that do all kinds of like performance art. It's insane how much you guys can do. And I don't think you guys see the other side of what people your age can do, because you guys are awesome. But there's always room to improve, right? Like we said at the beginning, short of Jesus, nobody's perfect, right? So I want you guys to take the paper that you have. You're gonna fold it up like this so it fits in an envelope. That's 3 folds. It doesn't have to be perfect. Mine's a little lopsided. You're gonna write down a goal for yourself this year, okay? And what you're gonna do is fold it up so nobody reads it, okay? So you write it inside, fold it up, and then write your first and last name on the outside. And when you guys leave today, I want you just to drop it on that table. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take them, not read them, I'm gonna put them in an envelope in my office, and the Christmas party this year, you're gonna get your goal back. So that way you can see, okay, what did I want for myself this year? Did I make it? Or did I fall short? And I'll tell you something right now, realizing you made it will make you grow less than realizing you fell short.
John, do you want to tell the kids that they can drop theirs off at the office?
Oh yeah, good call. Everybody online, you can write yours down, drop it off at the office, mail it to me at the office. You can bring it in on another Sunday if you're going to be here. If you guys are in confirmation, we'll be doing that in person again. You can bring it into confirmation class. I'll save these for you until the Christmas party. If you guys aren't at the Christmas party this year, I will mail it out to you, okay? So that night I'll do kind of similar to what I did this year, where I'll just go in the office and make sure that all the stuff is set to go. Also guys, I forgot that I set this room up for Christmas until I came in this morning, and all the Christmas stuff was stuff, so I was like taking down stockings and stuff this morning. So, really, really important thing to remember when you write your goals and when you look back on your goals is that they're going to change over time, right? So if we look back to what I wanted to be 20 years ago, I wanted to dig out dinosaurs, right? And then we fast forward 10 years, I wanted to be an actor. Side note, I'm terrible at acting. And then 5 years later, I wanted to be a German teacher. Right? That's pretty close to now. Those goals have changed over time. The reason is because God knew all along what he wanted for me. And I had a friend, it was in a tile room, so this analogy doesn't work as good. But he would stand on one tile and he'd say, when you look at the plan for your life, you can see the tile that's directly in front of you. But God can see all the way to the end of the room. So he's not going to guide you wrong. You might do something that is not going to be your career. You might do something that you don't use that specific skill anymore, but something you learn from doing that is going to carry on for God's plan with you. So as you move forward, so when I moved from archaeology to collecting Pokemon cards, which I'm just now realizing that those two might have been intertwined because I was, whatever. So as you move forward in your plans for life, God's going to be equipping you to be successful in what he wants you to do. I want you guys to know my dad, who's actually going to speak for us later this month, he is thinking about going back and getting a master's degree because this past year, he started doing youth ministry. He's been a lawyer for 30 plus years, and he's jumped more jobs than I can count. I mean, he was every manly job you can think of, firefighter, police officer. He was in the Army, he was an MP, he did SWAT stuff, like all the manly stuff, he did all that. And then he switched to law, and now, in his mid-60s, he's thinking, I want to do this now. This is where God wants me to be. None of that time was wasted. He learned great lessons in every single one of those stages of his life that have led up to now, to where he's able to share that with students. And it's really awesome. It's weird for me because, it's my dad, so I'm like, oh yeah, roll my eyes. You tell me this all the time. But it's fresh to those students, right? So they're always excited to hear what Mike has to say because it's brand new. They haven't heard the Army stories 1,000 times like I have. So it's super cool, right? So, we can try to plan ahead, and we should try to plan ahead, but know that that's going to change sometimes, right? And it's important that it does, because that's what helps us grow and adapt to the life around us. So next week, I'm really excited. Susan and I are going to swap rooms. She's going to come in and talk about writing your goals down. That seems like a very simple step, but there's a lot that goes with it and a lot of ways that you can do it so you see it every day, right? So this right here is not really what we're talking about with the writing your goals down because you're not going to see it after you hand it in, right? So, but there is so much value behind writing down what you're going to do for accountability and everything like that, and I'm really excited for you guys to hear Susan talk about it. So I'll be back in the week after that. My dad will be speaking. I'm going to record him, and we're going to play him on the screen. So I'll introduce him, and then we'll have him up on the screen, so you guys won't get to point and laugh at him that he can see. But I am really excited to have him speak. So does anybody have any goals that they thought of while I was rambling on that you want to share? Because accountability among friends is really powerful for setting goals. If you guys don't want to share with us, I suggest having one person in your life that you can go to with your goals and have that person hold you accountable. For me, that's my friend Kellen. I will call him, I'll say, this is what I'm, setting out to do, and I'll forget about it. And a month later, he'll be like, hey, how are you doing with reading a book every week? I'm like, it's been 2 months I've been on the same one, right? Having someone like that will make sure that you grow, especially you, Mimi. And I was trying to make sure you're paying attention. I didn't want you guys to get lost in my hair. For anybody who hasn't heard the story, we did one Zoom on Thursday that ended up being me and 5 or 6 of the girls, right? And so they said that I should dye my hair pink or rainbow. So since my wife does hair, she bleached it and dyed it this week, specifically so I would have pink and blue hair for this month. And then, we're probably gonna shave it all off the end of the month. Or I might be able to convince her to give me a reverse mohawk, which has been one of my dreams, but I don't think it's gonna happen.
What do you mean?
Channel down the.
Reverse mohawk would be where you shave the center of your head and then spike the sides.
Wait, okay, you're joking, right?
She has never let me do it, but maybe I can convince her. I want that, and I want a razor shaved head. Those are my 2 things that I want, and she is on board with neither of them. So we'll see, fighting a losing battle, but I'm fighting it,
Yeah.
I can couch if it doesn't work out.
Yeah, just I'll just do it myself. I got a single blade razor that cuts really close. I'll just come in and be all pale and have a shave my head. I have a lot of blood loss. I missed. Okay, you guys all got your goals written down? I'm gonna check the time and see what time we got for a game. Oh yeah, we got 15 minutes.
Mafia. Yes.
You guys just want to stick to Mafia?
Yes.
Just all the time? Okay. You guys know what I've been really wanting to play, since I've been playing Among Us lately? Secret Hitler.
No.
I want to play it so bad. Because it's literally just lying. Oh. Also, you guys can't make fun of me if I start walking weird, because I really messed up my back this week. And I've got a numbing patch and it's starting to wear off, so I might start walking like this. So you just have to act like I'm an old man, bring me a chair as a walker. That's a deal? Okay, cool. All right, let's see. How many hitmen should we have?
2.
11.
I want to switch it up and go to werewolf, which is my home turf, so you guys can see the difference. I talked to my old boss when I was an intern, and he was astounded that I hadn't forced werewolf on you guys yet. So I promised him that I would at least one game.
Can we still have the milk?
Yeah, I feel like there's still milk, so
Yeah.
it wasn't like milk was invented at a certain time. Cows were there. So let's see. We got our werewolf will be our hitman. Okay. We got our. My mind is just right now.
Seer, which predicts who they are, right?
That's the person who looks and is like, yes or no.
I always did that as a werewolf hunter.
Oh,
okay.
okay.
Yeah. So werewolf hunter, and then it
Don't
was
do that.
the milkman. I think that's all.
The doctor?
The-
I think we should probably have.
Sheriff is the werewolf hunter. Person who can look on. The doctor. I don't know. They didn't have doctor. Plague doctor, maybe.
Be a shepherd.
It's just a shepherd.
You look after
A
your
shepherd with a
flock.
med kit.
You're looking after your flock. Yeah.
I don't think they have werewolves.
I feel like the doctor. We could do it, but I'm going to use actual doctor things from medieval times. Are you guys cool with that?
Okay.
Okay.
Doctor.
Yeah, they're just gonna like
Like a witch doctor?
bleed you.
Bloodletting?
You got attacked by a werewolf, but he bled you, so it's fine, you know? Like things that would definitely not work, but they're gonna work for this? Okay.
Okay.
We're gonna
got
leash
it.
you.
Alright. The sun is set on our sleepy northern European town, right? You can hear ravens in the distance. Alright, so everybody go ahead and go to sleep. Oh no. Where's my paper towels? I have to hit you guys with something to tell you who you are. Never mind. I
You're
got
gonna
it.
throw paper towels at us? No. That'd be fun.
I got this roll of butcher paper. I'm gonna hit you as hard as I can with it if I choose you, okay?
Okay. Okay.
Okay, there's still people awake.
If you
Everybody's
hit us
asleep.
as hard as
Dead
you can,
asleep.
I'm pretty sure people will
I mean, you're sleeping like you just worked in the fields for like 46 hours today, you know? That were really tired sleep.
46 hours.
But
Okay.
there's been rumors that there's a werewolf among you. And the scary thing is, you know that it's somebody in your town. So that is terrifying. But there is good news. There's a werewolf hunter that's been going around searching for the werewolf. Right? That's amazing. You guys are so excited. But they keep their identity secret to stay safe. There's also a milkman or a milkmaid. That person delivers milk. So that's pretty helpful, I think. That was what we settled on, right? Just the 3 roles.
And doctor.
And the doctor. Okay, I'm trying to think of a good, like, different name for doctor, and nothing's coming to me. Does anybody have any ideas for a doctor character?
The healer?
The healer.
Mystical.
Ooh, I like shaman.
Witch. What?
The witch doctor. Yeah, so my doctor is actually a witch doctor that's gonna use potions and stuff. Okay, so I need my werewolf to wake up and choose. There's only one werewolf right now. Should I choose a second werewolf?
No.
They gotta
I'm gonna let the werewolf decide if there's a second werewolf.
Well, obviously they're gonna want more people.
I don't know isn't an answer, werewolf. I need a yes or a no. Okay. I'm not gonna tell you guys the decision. So my werewolf or werewolves,
We need to know how
we're
many.
gonna choose. Good luck. All right. My werewolf has chosen their midnight snack. And then I need my werewolf hunter to wake up, tell me who they think it is, using their refined werewolf hunting tools and abilities. All right, my werewolf hunter can go back to sleep. Remember, the werewolf hunter cannot reveal themselves, which is scary because you never know. Okay, now I need my my witch doctor to wake up and tell me who they're going to cast a spell on to save from lycanthropy, which is the disease that turns you into a werewolf. Yeah, you're welcome for
Real thing.
word of the day. Okay, my witch doctor's gonna, I guess, cast a spell on themselves and go back to sleep. I don't know how the sleep schedule of a witch doctor is, so maybe they're just like locked in their room making poultices and cackling. And I need my milkman or my milkmaid to wake up and decide who they're gonna bring yak's milk to. Okay. All right. It is a bright, sunny morning. You're in like the area where Germany is now, but it's before you're in Germania, right? Russia?
Austria?
Well, that's like southern Germania would be like a Roman area, you know? He's just disappearing, right? So you hear the rooster shout, "Kee-kee-kee," because that's what roosters say in that area of the world. So
Pretty sure they all sound the same.
no, that's what Germans say. Rooster says,
Oh.
"Kee-kee-kee." Yeah. So
Oh, interesting.
AJ decided that he has had enough of this rooster. And so he's gonna make some rooster stew, right? Because this has been one too many times. He stayed up playing medieval Overwatch, and this thing woke him up because it's like leaning in his window. So as he went outside to go get the rooster, well, yeah, what are you gonna do otherwise?
You just let it wake you up. Don't stay up late.
That's not an option. Okay? There's a competitive seat. We can't get into this. Okay? So he goes outside and he notices a bloody pair of shoes. And he picks them up and there's a name on the bottom, and by gosh, he wishes he could read, but he can't because he's a medieval peasant. So he brought them over to the reedsmith, which is the place where they make people who can read. Now called a school. And he finds out that the shoe says property of Mimi on the bottom of it.
I think it's cute.
And it only took 4 hours. And it's weird because there were stone shoes that had to be carved in there that didn't have like a Sharpie or anything. So we found out Mimi has been eaten mostly by a werewolf. There was still some foot in there, but that was it. So there's a werewolf among us.
Oh no.
We have to figure out who it is.
Somebody get milk?
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, AJ got milk.
Oh.
For his
He tripped over, he was gonna make a creamy rooster stew, but he tripped over the yak's milk because he's like, stop it! That was how he woke up. He shot up out of bed. And for creepy milkmaid move, it was on his nightstand. It wasn't like outside his front door.
Is it creepy?
They like snuck in the middle of the night and they're like,
It's like Santa Claus with milk. Sexy man.
Yeah.
I have a hunch. I feel like there's some evil coming from like rain or right over here.
You tried this last time twice. And
Okay, but guys, this is a very strong hunch. Very strong.
I'm feeling that. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Do you have any defense?
I don't know if I trust last time.
Okay, you're just.
I'm almost positive. No, I am positive.
Kimmy yet.
Okay.
I guarantee if you pick
Okay,
him,
so you guys are thinking it might be
I
Kimmy?
feel it.
Okay. Who's the sheriff? Like, who did they accuse?
They can't.
We can't say. We can't say who it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I have a hunch on Maddie. Because right as she woke up, she looked outside her window and just stared at my house.
Just menacingly.
Oh, wow.
Was
That is
it
creepy.
was it
That is
similar to
creepy.
this,
That's
where she
creepy.
was like at the windowsill?
Maddie's floating her next door again.
No. Fine.
Did she do one of these? Okay. It was just creepy staring. Okay. So we got strong hunch on Brady. We got a reverse accusation because not so trustworthy on Kimmy, and then we got some weird stares. So. And then Emily is being tossed in. Okay. Yes.
What is the point of writing property of this person on their shoes if they can't read?
Yeah, why did
That's
I
a
write
good
my
question.
name?
Well, it's
That
when
is
you buy it.
counterproductive.
When you buy it.
What?
That is a
when-
good point.
But if
Why
all
are
the
you being
peasants
so
can't
mean
read
to
it, they
the
wouldn't know
dead?
that it was actually their shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what you have the reedsmith for.
Maybe they only know their
That'd be an
name.
I have
absolute
to
pain to go
take
through
my
this every
shoes.
time.
Spend every day.
Yes.
It's,
Are these mine?
you know, like when you buy Pepsi instead of RC Cola?
No.
No.
I did.
It's because you're buying the brand.
Dang.
Okay.
So what's your guys' votes?
I vote
Kimmy.
Brady.
I vote Brady.
Raise your hands for Brady.
Guys, please, I'm telling you, Caitlin, I wouldn't murder Amy.
I just think it would be kind of fair if you went over and showed Junior High your head.
Yeah, will you take over? We're playing werewolf.
We're accusing.
It's the same thing as
we're
Mafia.
doing
But I'll fill you in real quick. Kimmy's
I'm
got,
gonna be dumb enough to kill
Kimmy's got
me.
bad vibes about Brady.
You've
and a
got
couple people
to-
over here don't trust that.
Brady's here!
Kimmy's making accusations.
Guys, I'm telling you.
And
oh my god.
Maddie was creep staring James, and then we threw in Emily just as an extra.
Okay,
Why not?
So, totally hard being thrown in. So what do I need to do? Okay, Kimmy and Tim, I swear.
You just voted Brady out.
Yes.
It's either Brady, Kimmy, or Maddie.
What? But I don't know.
No, that's when, like, you'll just tell us to go to sleep and then you'll see.
Very adamant about
But we need a vote first.
All right, so vote.
Okay, wait, raise your hand if you vote Brady. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now raise your hand if you vote Kimmy.
Guys, no!
Okay, raise your hand if you vote Maddie. Maddie. 1. Okay, so it's a tie between Kimmy and Brady. So
we
did
didn't
it.
vote. You were the tiebreaker.
James.
Oh yeah, I picked twice.
Or-
I vote Maddie.
No, that's
No, you can't.
Wait, what about?
It's got to be the tiebreaker.
Them? Okay,
No,
alright.
it's Brady or Kimmy.
Okay, Brady.
Oh, sorry, Brady. Right, everyone goes to sleep. Yeah. Right? Everyone
Yeah.
goes to sleep. All right, everyone goes to sleep.
Except me.
Except you.
dead.
Okay, so Mimi, help me out here. Is it exactly like Mafia?
Yeah, you just say, werewolf,
Okay, so who
wake up.
wakes up first?
Werewolf.
wakes up.
Unless they're dead.
I don't know who anyone is.
That's gonna be hard.
Yeah. Like, so once we go to sleep.
So everyone goes to sleep, and I need the werewolf to werewolf. So now what happens?
You ask them who they want to kill.
Okay.
Is there only one werewolf?
We don't know.
Whoa! Is there only one werewolf? Okay, so
Good job,
I
Kimmy.
would
Look
say
at you.
that the game. Let me consult with Mimi and Brady, because he's dead too.
Wait, Kimmy.
Alright, so you guys killed the werewolf,
What? She said, is there only one?
There might be more than one.
but no one else is looking at me.
Oh, okay, then it's probably the one.
Yeah. Okay, there's only one. Yay.
So we won?
I feel that's safer.
So,
yeah, I think the game's over.
Yeah, you killed the werewolf. Brady was the
I
werewolf.
was just gonna work across the room.
That's fun. Wow, good job. Alright, so it's time to go. So, let's like say a prayer.
Okay.
Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for letting me come in here. I love my high schoolers. I love to see everybody. I hope you keep coming back. Next week we'll continue our series on making this new year new. Please, during the week, I want the Holy Spirit to tug on all their hearts and to remind them that you need to be the center of their lives and you will help them with any trials they face. I pray all this in Jesus' name. Amen. Girls, see you Tuesday night, I hope. Last week of James.
Sorry, Brady. Put our, goals.
You can give me a break. Oh, thank you.
Just my psychic ability.
Oh, yeah.
I was supposed to do that.